I have the New Year planner, so you know it's real. I don't actually know how I feel about this look. It feels very Slavic athlete to me, but I have just watched Heated Rivalry, so maybe that's kind of the look I'm going for. Well, close enough. Welcome back, Ilya. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I have not filmed a video in a really long time, so I thought I would mark my comeback by doing a little year in review video. I have done these in the past very casually, no set standard. I actually did one very recently in the summer to reflect on my 25th year and set goals for my 26th year. But my life sort of exploded about 3 months after that. So let's pretend like that didn't happen. We're erasing that from the past. And we're starting over to do a little reflection on how this year went and what I'm hoping comes true in 2026. 2025 was mixed, to put it lightly. It was epic highs and epic lows. I would define 2025 as a slop year. There's always some slay in the flop, and there's always some flop in the slay. I wasn't spending too much time in either category, but bouncing between the two, constant mixed slop state. And I would like 2026 to be a slay year. I don't want it to be a flop year, but I would love for it to be a slay year, with even a little bit of slop. I'm okay with that. Every year I set 3 main focus areas for my life. I find that I set a ton of goals month to month, week to week, and it gets really overwhelming. So it's easier for me to focus in my yearly goals in only a couple areas. For 2025, that was finance, fitness, and friendship. And honestly, despite the mixed state of the year, I think I had a really excellent year in all categories. Maybe not as great as I'd like, but still pretty good. For finance, my big goals were to pay off my car loan, pay off my student loan, and max out my Roth IRA. I did pay off my car loan. I paid that off at the end of February, and I paid off my car in 8 months since I bought it. And that was such a huge accomplishment for me, and I'm so proud of that. So really enjoyed that. I did not pay off my student loan. I started the year at around a little over $10,000, and I'm ending the year at $2,700 left in loans. I really wanted to pay this off before the end of the year, especially because my employer gives me some money to help pay it off, but if I were to pay it off all right now, I'd basically be spending a lot of my savings, and I don't really feel comfortable spending that much money when if I just wait a couple months, I can pay it off while maintaining my savings. So I do feel glad that I did pay off a significant amount, and that is going to be crushed within the next couple months. I also did not max out my Roth IRA. I did contribute, I think, about $2,000, $2,500 on top of my work retirement account and my employer match. So not excellent. But all in all, I did increase my net worth by $25,000 in 1 year, which for me, just starting out, I'm only 26, I was making kind of peanuts for a couple years after I graduated. I am really pleased with. Category 2 for 2025 was friendship. Really, I just wanted to have a solid group of friends in the city I'm living in. I was new to the city last year, and at the top of this year, I had literally 2 friends in the entire city. Literally 2 friends in the entire city. And I'm pleased to report that since then, I have way more than 2 friends. I had enough friends to throw a birthday party this summer and have 10 plus people meet up at a restaurant. And the biggest highlight of my year, well, one of the biggest highlights of my year, was my girlfriend and we threw a Halloween party at our place in October, and we had a full house with all of the people that we knew in the city, and it was the first time where I felt like I truly have a network and felt like I was developing a community. So I would say that was a huge success. I worked really hard at trying to meet people and doing some crazy things that I actually didn't really like to do. I joined a kickball league, flop, I will never ever do that again, but it did introduce me to some people. I went to random meetups, I went on Bumble BFF, I was really hustling to try to meet people, and it did all pay off. It did take a couple months of putting myself out there, and it was very scary, but I feel really, really pleased with all of the amazing people I've met and actually feeling like I have friends here. The third category was fitness. This is kind of a mixed bag and also the most relevant to this channel. I would say the highs in this category were over the summer, I absolutely felt the most fit I have ever been in my life. Like I was running 30 miles a week, 30 plus miles a week, lifting a couple times a week, doing hot yoga. I felt so sharp, on top of my game. I loved my body. I was grinding. Like I felt so good. Couple highlights in the fitness realm. Hiked the Grand Canyon for the first time in April. In the spring, I set a half marathon PR. And in the fall, I ran 18 miles on a trail, which is the longest I had ever run in my entire life. So all of those were really cool and definite signs of how hard I was working. Of course, my 50K goal had a sharp cutoff in October when I had some health issues and had to abandon my goal. And the past 2 months have been as fit as I was feeling in like August. It's like a total opposite. I feel like I've lost so much fitness because I just basically couldn't work out for a month and a half, even though I am back in the gym now. So epic highs, epic lows, most fit I've ever felt, and then immediately it all came crashing down. So as far as goals for 2025 went, I'm kind of happy with how it went. I think finance, friendship, and fitness, I am in so much in a better spot now than I was at the beginning of this year in all categories, with a lot of room for improvement. There were also another handful of wins and losses in the year. When moving to a new place in a new neighborhood that I am in love with my girlfriend. Another win for this year is making YouTube videos. I love doing it so much, even though I kind of fell off after my health issues this past quarter of the year. It was so fun to get back into, and I am so excited to keep doing it in the new year and come up with new video ideas. I also was able to see my family so much more often than I was in the past because the city I live in now is a lot closer to them than the one I lived in before. It is so nice that even though I still live out of state, I'm seeing them so much more in the past year than I probably did for like 3 years there. So that is another huge win. As far as losses go, we all have to take a few L's. The last quarter of the year were pretty disastrous. I cannot lie. In the span of a month, I got diagnosed with Graves' disease, completely had to stop exercising and give up on my 50K dreams. My windshield needed to get replaced. We had a loss in the family and had to take in an emergency foster dog. My manager left at work. October and November tried me. Also during this time, I was traveling for work every 2 weeks, like twice on a plane for multiple nights, and then twice by train. I was beside myself. I didn't know what was up, what was down. And then the holidays came. I was driven insane. The only thing that got me through the past 3 months of 2025 was the Sudoku app on my phone and Heated Ravelry, if you know, you know. Without those two things, I think I just would have collapsed and burst into flames. I think it would have been so over for me. What an end to the year. And with that, I can say, closing the door on this mixed freaking bag of a year, good riddance, 2025, I don't want to see your ugly ass here again. It's over. I'm excited for 2026 because there's a lot that will be stable in my life this year that will allow me to invest in other areas that have either been neglected or that I see there's really big room for improvement. I'm going to be at the same job. I'm going to be in the same city. We're going to be in the same place. No, God willing, no huge changes will happen this coming year. I'm not buying a new car. Nothing super crazy is happening. That gives me some more mental space to think about other things in my life because I'm not worried about starting a new job. I'm not trying to find a new place, etc., etc. God willing. All of these things can happen, and I'm just really hoping they don't. Your girl needs a break. So just like I had 3 focus areas for 2025, I have focus areas for 2026 as well. I really, really wanted to get these into a tight, alliterative 3 group of categories, but unfortunately, I really couldn't come up with all of them starting with the same letter unless I got really, really generous with it. So instead, I'm giving you 4 categories and 2 pairs are alliterative. It's the best I can do. So those categories are creativity, connection, fitness, and finance. And within each category, I have 3 sub-goals that I think are actually realistic. I'm really trying to be realistic with my goals here. It's easier for me to really shoot for the moon, especially with fitness or hobby goals. So I'm trying to rein myself in. So for the connection category, this encompasses to me relationships with other people and relationships with my own community, just feeling like I'm part of a supportive, vibrant, loving social fabric. That is really one of my core values, is connectedness to others, and it is so, so important to me. So within this category, first goal is to host 12 gatherings at my home. This could be once a month, could be twice in 1 month. Either way, at the end of the year, I want to have hosted 12 times. Now that we're in a place where that can actually encompass more than 3 people at a time, I love hosting and I love becoming someone that brings people together. This is goal number 1. Goal number 2 is to get engaged. My girlfriend and I have been talking about this for a while, and we think this is a good year. So that is really, really exciting. I don't know if putting it as a goal is weird because it is kind of in our control, but that would just be that's just something I want to include, and it does involve my relationship to one of the most important people in my life. So that is a goal for 2026. And a third, I would really like to find a regular, recurring volunteer opportunity. It really matters to me to be involved in organizations locally. I already donate money. I'd like to donate more, but I don't donate any of my time. And I think I'd really like to get involved with something locally in my neighborhood specifically, maybe taking care of green spaces or another volunteer opportunity that matches with my values and makes me feel like I'm giving back to the world, since I'm getting a lot out of my community and my neighborhood, and I would like to give back as well. The next category is creativity. I feel like I really neglected the creative side of me for a really long time. In high school and early college, doing theater, making art, consuming art, that was such a huge part of my life. I wrote all the time. I read all the time. I drew. It's something that makes me feel really happy. And I think after graduating, my creative needs were filled by my job. So I kind of lost the ability to do it on my own time. And now that in the current job I'm in, it has a lot of great aspects about it. It's really intellectually stimulating, but it is not creatively fulfilling. And I have neglected that side of myself for favor of my social life and my fitness pursuits, and I just haven't carved out time of my life for that creative inspiration. There are a lot of different aspects of this that I could lean into, but the ones that I think are most achievable for me involve things I already enjoy doing that do make me feel creatively fulfilled and connected to new ideas. First one of these is to read 24 books. Oh my God, what the hell was that? First one of these is to read 24 books. This averages out to 2 books a month. I know this might seem odd being in the creative category, but I read almost exclusively nonfiction, and I read a lot about artists or memoirs of really interesting people. And I find that reading nonfiction, especially philosophy books, really connect me to a sense of inspiration and inspire me to live a more creative life. I also want to make 24 YouTube videos. This is such a fun creative outlet for me, and I really want to do it consistently in the new year. The third category I really want to invest time in is trying new hobbies and reconnecting to a sense of play and fun. Right now, I would say I love the way I spend my free time, but most of my hobbies are fitness related. and or passive, consuming content instead of actually creating it. I love to journal and I like to write, but there's so much else out there that I think could be really, really interesting to explore. The first thing that comes to mind is aerial silks classes, because that's creative expression and it's performance, which I love, and it's also physical, which obviously really, really matters to me. And I also have ideas like learning Russian or learning how to produce music, things that are intellectually stimulating and just really interesting. So that's my third goal for my creativity category. The third goal is fitness. Obviously, since that is mostly what this channel is about, none of these goals will be new to you here. One, I really want to set a new half marathon PR. Ideally, I'd like to run a half marathon in under 2 hours, which I have not yet done. So that's a spring goal for sure. I think it's possible, but taking 2 months off the past 2 months, I don't know. We'll see how it goes, but I really would like to do that this spring. Second goal is finally run my first 50K. Literally, I was a month away, so close I could taste it last year, and it pisses me off that my health problems got in the way when my body was otherwise responding great to training. So that is a huge goal for the second half of the year. And if I can't do it this year, I'm just going to assume the universe does not want me to do it in my 20s and then get into something equally stupid like triathlon instead. Okay? That's the plan, seriously. And the third goal is I would love to go on a camping/hiking trip. This is thrown into the fitness category, but doesn't necessarily need to be super physically demanding like my Grand Canyon hiking trip was. This could just be spending a week or two on the Appalachian Trail or something a little more exotic like walking the Camino de Santiago in Spain or another big goal. And my fourth and final goal category is finance. This is the least sexy one, but it is one that is really important because it's really hard to pursue literally any other goal if you're not financially stable. I have two pretty normal ones that involve money and then one wild card. First one is I want to pay off my student loans. Finally, I've been out of school now for 5 years and I'm so ready for these guys to be gone for real. I only have $2,700 left. I know I can knock it out in the first quarter of the year if I lock in. So I'm so ready to pay those off and be debt free. Second goal is I want to save $20,000 cash. This is delusional, I would say. I would say this is somewhat delusional, but again, if I lock in, I think I can handle it. I've been focusing on paying off debt and contributing to retirement this past year, but I'm a little light on cash, lighter than I'd like to be, especially since I want to fund an emergency fund. And related to the engaged goal, start saving for weddings, because that's not cheap. Is this realistic? Yes, if I stop buying things, which is the challenge. And the third item in this category is a little maybe out of place, maybe should be in the fitness one, maybe should be in another category altogether. But I very, very much want to get my personal trainer certification and start teaching group fitness classes. I have been wanting to do this for months. I actually got all the materials and the online courses and the book earlier this year in the spring and actually was really steadily working through studying, and I learned a lot just for myself. I thought it was so interesting. And then as summer picked up, my 50K training picked up, and then my life exploded in October, I just could not do it this year. Even though I got more than halfway through the textbook, I was really interested, and it just didn't happen. So I really want to, in the first half of this year, go back, study, pass my exam, everything's already paid for because I paid for it earlier this year, and start teaching fitness classes. I'm not even doing it for money or even diversifying my income so much as I think it would be really fun and interesting, and I think I'd like it a lot. So maybe it should be in a different category, but I would like to make a little bit of money if I can get a job teaching classes. I've really been yapping for a while, and I don't know if any of this video will make sense, but I do hope you find some value in it, and I hope you have an amazing wrap up of your year, and I hope even if 2025 was a slop year like mine was, 2026 finds nothing but slay. Thank you for watching this video, and hopefully I will see you in the new year. I'll see you soon.